Hi, this is Liz.
And this is Kim.
Thanks for joining us for Keep Up with Liz and Kim, episode 8.
Yes, episode 8 already. It has been so much fun interviewing our local business owners here in Ada, and I cannot believe December is already here.
I can't either. I mean, time is flying. I think it's because we're always buried with events and planning and all of that kind of stuff, but wow, December is here.
There was so much going on, and we were already through Tinsel Treats and Trolleys, which is just unbelievable. We planned that for months, and now it's already happened. The trolleys have run through town. We had the bridge lighting. The community came out. Even with the rain occurring during the night, the people still showed up and had a great time. It was mind-boggling to me how packed Santa's tent was, and as I walked around the village, seeing people participating with activities and all the businesses was just so much fun.
It was, and the vibe around the whole village was like that Hallmark movie. You know, everybody has candy canes in their hand or little gifts or something like that. It was so much fun. And too, Santa photos, did they go out yet?
They did. I shared the link on the ABA Facebook page yesterday, and I'll put it in a newsletter that will hopefully go out tomorrow. But if anyone's looking for that, feel free to reach out to us.
There you go. All right. And then, you know, window competition's happening. The Festival of Trees is happening. So many things still continuing through the month of December.
Yes. So continue to come on out to Ada. Check out our incredible local businesses. Take a stroll through the Winter Light Walk and visit the Festival of Trees. And then make sure that you vote for your favorite window.
We've already had a ton of votes, so keep voting.
All right, up next.
All right, we are going to introduce Matt Michiels from Gravel Bottom Craft Brewery, a brewery that has been here for a long time. You know, even before this new development, he had his home here. The brewery was here. He really found Ada to be that place to start a small business. All right, Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. So we're going to start off with the hardest question. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me on, first of all. Yeah, so born and raised Michigan, you know, grew up in a small, sleepy Michigan town in Bellevue, where my dad was the pharmacist there in Bellevue, which was really a unique experience because he was one of those small business owners in a small community, and he was really involved, and that was really a lot of my inspiration. I'm sure stuff we'll talk about later, was that he really was somebody who wanted to be a part of the community, do things with the community, support the community, bring people together, created all these events with his other businesses in town, and it was such an inspiration and a great place for me to grow up. From there, I went to Grand Valley for my undergraduate, which was really my first experience of Grand Rapids area, which fell in love with, obviously. I did my 3 years there, and I met my wife, Erica, at Grand Valley. And then, somehow, they talked me into applying to the U of M Business School, and I got in. So that took us over to the Ann Arbor area while my wife was doing medical school at Michigan State's MD program. From there, I graduated. She was still in her medical side of it, and I was working for big banking, so I underwrote loans between $5 and $50 million for Standard Federal Bank, and that was really my into the business world, which was great. It was a lot of fun. Loved working with people. That was the thing I liked the most, was that interaction and building the relationships and learning about businesses and how those businesses got to where they were, where they came from, what helps them make a success, and talking to those leaders was a lot of fun. When Erica got placed for her residency, that was in Seattle. So that really took us out of the element of Michigan. It was our mid-20s. It was a really exciting time.
Yeah.
So we moved out to Seattle, which was an awesome town, and we just had a lot of fun. But at that point, I wanted to get out of the more sales role of commercial loans and get into more the nitty-gritty of corporate finance. And so I found a job at Boeing doing supplier financial analyst. So we'd monitor the financial health of the supply base, which was a really great experience. And talking about getting to know businesses just of all sizes, from very small mom and pops to very large tier one aerospace suppliers. was just a unique experience and wonderful to learn that. But what I learned from that point was I really wanted to do something myself. I wanted to do, like my dad, he was part of this. He wasn't a tax ID or an employee ID. He was somebody within the community that was making a difference. And I kept coming back to that over the years. And so when we got the opportunity to move back to Grand Rapids, Erica took the job here at Spectrum. And that was my chance to really go out and do what I wanted to do, which was own a small business, be a part of a small community. I just had to find the right one. So when we moved here in Ada was the obvious place. At the time, it was a lot different community than it is today. It was small and quaint, and people were going to know who you were. You were going to make a difference. It wasn't going to be like going downtown where people may or may not know who I am, or what I did may or may not have an impact on that community.
Yeah, you get a little lost in the hustle and bustle down there.
Right.
And yeah.
So Ada felt like just the perfect fit. It felt like, this is what I can do that mirrors what I grew up with, and this is the experience I can give my kids, and be that role model to show them that it's about being a part of something bigger and not just running a business.
Yeah. And that's kind of where your whole story starts, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're here to talk about, is to
Yeah.
learn about Gravel Bottom and learn about you and the story of Gravel Bottom. And
So you ended up here in Ada, and then you dove into the beer culture. So tell us a little bit about why beer and how you got involved and how you built Gravel Bottom.
Yeah. So why beer is, it comes back to the whole medical school thing. When I met Erica, she was not medical school bound. She was going to be a physical therapist, and we kind of made that decision together. And we knew that as we were making that decision, there was going to be a lot of time where she was going to be studying hard, she was going to be busy, she was working a lot of hours, and I was going to need a hobby. And at the time, I was young, 20-something, and beer seemed cool. I had a buddy at a fraternity who had brewed beer once and told me about it, so I was like, well, let's try that out. Let's try that hobby. And to tell you the truth, I just thought it was going to be another one of those hobbies, right? You do it for a little while, you have a lot of fun, and then you move on to the next hobby. I do that a lot. But beer really captivated me, and I think that's what's unique about beer is how much there is. It's more than just the beer at the bar with your friends. There's a whole culture and history and science and engineering, and it all comes around to beer. Just really is very fulfilling for me because it touches on a lot of different things and really kept my interest. So just knowing that, beer is the one thing that did bring, if you go way back in time, those first people brewing beer that really helped bring people together and started the whole idea of, society and planting routes where you could stay in one place. And so if you keep going down the whole history of beer, even to modern medicine and microbiology, that's all really founded around those studies, Louis Pasteur's studies of microbiology, which was spontaneous combustion in beer. So just getting wrapped up into all of that, I just found this passion for beer. Because even once I got through all of that, then you start talking about the science of it and what's going on in the beer and the chemical reactions. And right. I got into that. And then beer just became this whole part of something I was interested in deeper. Mm-hmm. And so that's really why beer has just become more than a hobby. It's become my life because I'm just passionate about what it's done and how it brings people together.
Yeah.
Beyond drinking it, honestly.
Yeah, it's a whole culture, and there's constant learning involved.
Absolutely.
So you have the love for the beer and obviously the whole science behind it. And, even naming the beer, there's a story behind the name and why. But so you also have the whole business sense behind it. So what do you love about not only the beer, but also owning your own brewery?
That I get to be, what do I love the most? That I get to be involved, right? I get to make some decisions on what's Gravel Bottom going to do for the community? What's Gravel Bottom going to do for its employees and its patrons? And I get a say in that. I'm not a cog in a wheel. I'm not just there to make decisions and go home at night and forget about what my job is. I'm always involved in kind of the evolution of Gravel Bottom. and where are we going and what difference are we going to make beyond just serving somebody a pint. And I think that's the thing I really love about owning a small business is it's more than just the job. It's there's an identity there, there's a mission that you control. You get to control what your mission is.
And speaking of that mission and getting involved, you have been instrumental in helping to build several of the large events here in Ada. So what inspires you to create these events and then to keep supporting them?
I'm just an extrovert, I guess. I love bringing people together. You know, I get my energy from more people around me. Like, a good example of that is my wife we're going to have so-and-so over for dinner tonight. Well, by the time she gets home, I will have invited 6 more families. She'll look at
without
me and go,
telling her.
Yeah, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, we were going to have these guys over. Why not these guys and these guys? But the more people that are around me and having a good time, that's where I draw my energy from. And that's how I recharge, is to bring people together and see the smiles on their faces and people make connections. And for me, that's part of bringing people together, right, is there's that magic that happens when you have a great event like Beers at the Bridge or the Chili Cook-Off. So that's kind of that inspiration, right, is to bring people together. But I think it's also very healthy for the community. We are a part of a bigger community, right? We're not just individuals going through life.
Right.
And when you can bring a community together, how much that helps all of us individually. Just mentally and feeling successful and feeling like you're part of something that's bigger than yourself. And I think events really help to solidify that for everybody in the community. And then I think it's really important with all the new businesses that we have coming into town here is creating that environment where we are working together. Where we're not really competitors in this as much as we are collaborators in making Ada this wonderful place that's unique. And you can't really do that unless you have something that you're working together towards. And events really helps us have those things that we're working together.
Yeah, it's really like all hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody contributes in some way, shape, or form. And even, too, I mean, we've talked business before, and it's even like, you know, like little marketing things or what's working for you or who's your demographic. And it's all, community based, all of us helping each other and all hands on deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we help raise each other up. But it does give you this sense of like, man, I can go and talk to Liz or I can go, talk to whoever, any other business owner out there and get their input. But then I've had the shared experience of this successful event that I did with them. Right. And how that builds a bond and a friendship that will endure and really help for many, many years. Both help me and the community at large.
Yeah, most definitely. And your family also, too, is very involved. So, like, the other day, Tinsel Treats and Trolleys, your wife was out,
Sure.
doing hot chocolate and all that kind of stuff. So if you were to take the family down to Ada, what would your, perfect Ada Saturday look like?
I think the perfect Ada is, first of all, we'd start with something where we'd go to one of the places that's really known for breakfast, and Nona's or Mud Penny comes right to mind. Mm-hmm. We'd probably go to one of those places, have a nice breakfast, and then, quite frankly, we'd go on a hike. Like I said, I was kind of raised up north, and I did a lot of outdoor stuff. So going for a hike in Seidman Park, we love that.
Okay.
So we go do that, and that would get us, energized and talking and burn off a little bit of that breakfast. And then we'd come back into Ada, and from there we would hopefully go to an event that was going on or go to a place where we could have lunch. Of course, I'm going to say Gravel Bottom, but let's not say Gravel Bottom.
I mean, you should. You should say Gravel Bottom.
But there's so many other wonderful places, like, going into Luna's and getting some tacos with the kids, or, we would definitely come back, do something for a lunch, walk around the community, maybe do some shopping. And from there, we'd just see where the day took us. And like I said, there's so many different events going on. Hopefully it would be one of those Saturdays that we'd catch something else that was fun downtown in the park.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Matt. We appreciate you collaborating with Liz and I on all these great events that we're doing here in Ada, and I appreciate you being on the ABA board.
Oh, I appreciate it. Wouldn't have it any other way. It's been awesome.
It has been, yeah. This community that we've all created is wonderful. It's great. I love it. We come down here and you know everybody when you're walking down the sidewalk. So, well, thank you for being a part of that.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
What a fun interview with Matt. He has been here in Ada for 10 years. He just celebrated his 10-year anniversary in September, and he really has been an integral part of this community. He was the catalyst behind some of the early events going on here, and now he serves on our Pumpkin Prowl Committee as one of the chairs, and is always one of those first people to put his hand up to be a part of our events.
Yeah, he's such a great part of the community. I mean, really, he focuses to, he talked about in his interview, focusing on the community, focusing on the people here, and really creating an atmosphere that small businesses want to be a part of.
Yes, Matt is one of those people that really understands that collaboration is what is creating that incredible synergy that we have here in Ada and making it such a vibrant community and a destination that people want to come to.
Yeah, most definitely. So we thank you, Matt, for joining us. Great interview. All right, should we jump into the Fast Five?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, number 1, Holiday Women's Night Out in Ada Village, happening on the 9th, Saturday 9th, starting at 6 p.m. So this is another opportunity in Ada to shop holiday, shop all the local stores. There's going to be discounts and giveaways and hot chocolate bars and so many things happening. Just a fun way to shop for the holidays.
It'll be a ton of fun. I think it's going to be fun to have it on a Saturday night and just some really great time to come out and shop before Christmas.
I agree.
Second up, we have Mirth is now open for lunch. If you did not already know that, make sure you come on down to Ada Village and check out their lunch menu, meet with your girlfriends, schedule a business lunch. They have some new sandwiches on the menu in addition to their wood-fired pizzas and some other pasta dishes.
And you can smell it. You can smell when they turn on that fire during lunch. I'm like, oh, pizza.
Smells so good.
It does. All right, number 3, reindeer event on December 15th, right in front of Ada Village General Store. So even though the general store is not open, they are continuing that event. So join us at 2 p.m. and check out the reindeer. Get some photos by them. There's going to be the sleigh, a ton of fun things. Feed them, really get an experience with the reindeer.
And next up, we want to encourage you to support one of our local nonprofits during this holiday season. We have a few that are ABA members, like Once Upon a Room, who decorates rooms for long-term pediatric patients at both Corwell Health and Mary Free Bed. I understand another member is doing a blanket drive for Pine Rest Christian Mental Health Services. We also have Redeemer Food Pantry, which is part of Redeemer Church, another ABA member that is constantly collecting food donations for the individuals in our community who are food insecure. Make sure you continue to check our ABA Facebook and Instagram for posts from these members. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Such a cool thing that everybody does around here. I love it. All right, up next we have the renovation of Leonard Field. So if you guys haven't been out there yet, it is beautiful. It is the start of something wonderful to come. So there is a new viewing platform. There's exciting new development coming. So definitely, keep up with this podcast and we will be mentioning all the things to come.
I'm really looking forward to seeing this project come to fruition. It is going to be such a wonderful place for families to gather. So stay tuned as more information is released.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, I know what's happening, and you guys are all going to love it, and we can't wait to share it.
So if you want to keep up with what is happening in Ada, learn about the businesses, and participate in our upcoming events, follow Discover Ada and the ABA on social media, and subscribe to this podcast.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Kim and I really appreciate the support, and I know the small businesses do as well. So keep listening, and hey, try to keep up.